One of us. One of us. One of
Great showing. You guys suck and you cheated.
Oh, we're recording? I didn't know we were recording.
It is the biggest transfer or free agent signing in the history of the United States in any sport. What is up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Ride the Pine, presented by the Bench Podcast Network. I am Sean Sproat. Joining me, of course, as always, Cameron May, Adam Freeman, Kenny Hutton. Guys, happy Thanksgiving. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Doing great. The mustache is here. It's all good.
It's there. I don't. The good. You can leave the all good part out. It's just there, Cameron.
It is starting to curl a little bit, like down on the sides, starting to come down.
I mean, I could curl it up if we really need to.
Curl it back.
Now you just look like the rapist version of Mario. No.
All right, guys.
See Austin Matthews with a mustache.
Didn't he have a
you keep
mustache
on
for
trying
quite
to
a
push
while?
that narrative, and it's just not going to work.
So I think today we're gonna talk some baseball. We're gonna talk some Hall of Fame votes. We're gonna cast our votes, and then we're going to have a little bit of a fun game regarding or revolving around, I should say, Thanksgiving. We're going to do a Thanksgiving draft, specifically Thanksgiving sides. So before we get to that, who wants to dive in and start talking about the MLB Hall of Fame? Adam, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So this year's ballot has some decent names to it for the first time. You've got Jose Bautista, Adrian Beltre, Big Fat Bartolo Colon, Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Holliday, Victor Martinez, Brandon Phillips, Jose Reyes, and James Shields, David Wright. So decent amount of people. A couple big names returning: Bobby Abreu, A-Rod, Todd Helton, Manny Ramirez. Gary Sheffield is on his final year, and it will most likely be his last year on the ballot. And that's not because he's getting voted in. Let's just put it that way. So it is interesting. I mean, I think, honestly, last year you had one guy go in, and that's probably all that deserved to go in that year was Scott Rowland. This year, I don't think it's going to get much better. It'll be very interesting to see who goes in. For me, I only had 2 votes. My one vote was Todd Helton. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's got a little bit of a sway because of playing in Colorado. The number's going to boost a little bit. But he still had 369 home runs. He still hit 316, 2,500 hits. I mean, probably one of the best Rockies to ever play in their short history. So I had him, and then the other one I had is Omar Vizquel. And honestly, strictly because of his Gold Gloves. He's got 11 Gold Gloves. One of the probably best middle infielders to ever play, besides, in my opinion, Ozzie Smith. But other than that, I mean, it gets thin. You're talking about guys that probably belong in the Hall of really good or maybe very good. At least right now, there's no first-time Hall of Famers going in this year. That's for sure. Or first ballot Hall of Famers going in this year.
I feel like you're really neglecting Adrian Beltre here with 3,000 hits. Not going in. 3,166, 477 home runs. You're not putting him in.
I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, maybe that's the bad way to look at it because he is a Hall of Famer probably, but I don't know. I don't think he gets in.
Well, if he's a Hall of Famer, you were gonna vote for him, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you 3. I'll go Adrian Beltre. You talked me into that one.
I have a rule that, I guess it's a rule because we don't have votes. But if we did, I would not vote first-timers in unless they are like exemplary, unless they are top of the top in the sport. Yeah. Adrian Beltre is an extremely good baseball player. He's not that for me. I'm not voting him first time. I'll look at him next year. I'm not going to look at him this year. He did not get my vote this year. I want to go back to Todd Helton real quick. You think Todd Helton gets in?
I think he does. Yeah.
Looking at his stats, he was very good from 2000 to 2004. He had a 5-year period where he hit about 350, and over a third of his RBIs for his career came in that 5-year period. After that point, mediocre. I'm not voting.
I mean, he's
Todd
still
Hilton's not getting my vote. I don't think he's a Hall of
300.
Famer.
He still
not a
hit
Hall of Famer for me.
300 in all but 2 years from 05 to 2010. So
yeah, the average is
including a year
good, but
that
the
he
power
hit
drops off. The amount of hits do drop off.
Maybe.
He's not a Hall of Famer for me.
I think he gets in.
Well, I'll say this. I have been actually swayed by Cameron's argument. Now, I think Hall of Fame voters need to drop their pretentious, I love the smell of my own farts attitude. And what Sean said is that he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. If they're a Hall of Famer, they should be a Hall of Famer. The 3 jackasses who didn't vote for Ken Griffey Jr. still have me pissed off. I think Beltre is worthy of it. I had Helton on my periphery list, so that includes for me Billy Wagner. It includes Mark Burley. I think that one is more of a. I think that one's more of a personal one though, because he is a St. Louis guy. He did throw a perfect game. There's only been 27 of them in history. You feel like if he's not an actual Hall of Famer, that accomplishment should be recognized in the Hall. But you have to put in A-Rod. I'm over the steroid issue of punishing these guys for playing in an era that they did. Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. McGwire should be in the Hall of Fame. A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame. This class gets nobody if I'm voting without voting for A-Rod.
100%.
Well, and that's an interesting one too, though, because it's like if you vote A-Rod in now, and I'm just saying the way that Hall of Fame voters, our vote is totally different, but I agree that A-Rod is a Hall of Famer. He probably was a Hall of Famer before any of the steroid stuff took place, just like Barry Bonds was. And if they were to go in and vote A-Rod in now, that's a complete bash to what Bonds truly did. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, well, he did it with steroids. Well, everybody was doing it. That means nothing. And it still doesn't take away, okay, so you take away steroids, that probably adds, 10% maybe? And he still hits 700 home runs. Let's be honest about it in reality. Bonds is a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Famer before he took steroids. He had a Hall of Fame career if he would have retired before he took steroids in 2000. Just
listen to these career numbers without giving a name assigned to him. Almost 2,800 games, 3,115 hits, 2,086 RBI, 696 home runs. He had a slash of 380, 550, 930, 3 MVPs, 14 All-Star games, 10 Silver Sluggers, 2 Golden Gloves. Just on face value, that is a no doubt Hall of Famer. And
for sure.
Mind you, and then if you say, okay, yes, that's Alex Rodriguez, he also missed a year and a half, essentially, because of the suspension. So we could probably tack on a decent amount of numbers on those as well, of what he could have had. That Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, he should be.
And to everybody that would say, well, no, he's a bad person. Well, this is the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's a lot of terrible people in the Hall of Fame.
It's not the Boy Scout Hall of Fame. It's the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I mean, we've got a player on our team's Wall of Fame in left field that did horribly racist stuff, and yet we still celebrate him every year. Ty Cobb was not a great person, and we celebrate him every year with the Hall of Fame. So I have no problem with voting in Alex Rodriguez. And again, like I said, I've shifted my opinion. Put Bonds in, put McGwire in, put these guys in with asterisks if you really want to. Hey,
it doesn't even need an asterisk, though, Kenny. You just tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do. That's what the Hall of Fame is there for.
Yeah. Perfect. So, what are you guys?
My second vote, though, was Bartolo Colon, because why not?
Big sexy. He's on mine as well. He's on mine as well.
I'm sorry. I didn't say his actual name. Big fat Bartolo Colon. Sorry. Excuse me.
That's big sexy to you.
So I want to hear you guys. I want to I want to hear you guys' actual votes. So who wants to go first? Cameron, who gets your votes?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I have Carlos Beltran, strictly for him playing for the Cardinals. Adrian Beltre, because his numbers deem that he should be there. Mark Burley, because he lives up the street. Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy. You can't not have him in there. I also had Todd Helton right on the edge. And then Manny Ramirez, A-Rod, and Gary Sheffield.
So you're voting for someone because they live down the street from you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Let's be honest. Gary Sheffield, the only way he's getting in the Hall of Fame is if it's a contract year.
Did you not imitate his
Or
all throughout your childhood?
Seriously, you can go and look. You could look at Gary Sheffield's career numbers every year he was up for a contract. Like, he exploded.
Mm-hmm.
He hits when it matters.
What about Andy Pettitte?
No.
I mean, he's probably one of the top 10 Yankee pitchers ever, which is saying quite a bit when you talk about Yankees.
He's deservedly in the Yankee Hall of Fame. That's it.
I honestly didn't look up his numbers because he didn't even register to me. I don't disagree that he's probably somebody who is in the Yankees Hall of Fame and in Yankees lore just because of the way he looked over a glove in the World Series. But
I think he's got 280 wins. I think 3,000 strikeouts, 2 World Series. I think maybe 3.
So
if
Andy
somebody
Pettitte
can confirm
has
that 280, I will consider changing my mind.
He has 256 wins. He's got a career ERA of 3.85. Just under he has 2,448 strikeouts and a career WHIP of 1.351.
What's his WAR?
I was waiting.
60.2.
Damn.
So he's probably borderline, but he's another steroid guy too.
He won 21 games in 1996. He finished in the top 5 for Cy Young voting 4 times.
Did he win a Cy Young?
He did not.
I think that probably keeps him out.
Yeah. It's a lot like Wainwright at that point. Wainwright's going to be one of those guys that's Hall of Very Good, but not Hall of Fame.
And it's typical for pitchers, but he had a pretty significant drop-off in his Houston years once he left the Yankees.
I mean, I guess the question becomes the unwritten rule is 500 home runs for a hitter is automatic Hall of Fame, and it's always been 300 wins for a pitcher. Does that decrease, knowing what we know about pitching and the arm these days, to a 250 and Pettitte gets in?
No,
with a recency bias?
The new number is going to be quality starts. If you can make it 6 innings without allowing more than 3 runs, then you're going to be a Hall of Famer.
Fucking hate analytics.
It's so stupid. Another one. What about Andrew Jones? Is he another one of those guys that is borderline Hall of Fame, Hall of Really Good?
Again, didn't even register when I was looking at the list.
And he's one of those guys that you would see him come up in a lineup where you know that you're playing in the Braves, and you're like, holy crap, we got to go through him. I mean, there was a couple years he was dangerous for sure in that Braves lineup. Him and Chipper back to back.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked him. I would say he's Hall of Very Good though. I mean, 1,933 hits, 434 home runs, career batting average 254, 62.7 WAR. I mean, he was definitely someone, especially growing up, who was you don't want to face that guy. But looking back on the raw numbers, it's not necessarily he has to be in the Hall of Fame.
So he's probably Jim Edmonds. In our comparison, the exact, probably pretty damn close as far as numbers go, and Edmonds didn't get the votes to go in. I don't think Edmonds lasted. Didn't Edmonds get cut short on his ballot? Wasn't he less than 1% or something like that his first 2 years or something? It was ridiculous, but whatever.
Andrew Jones hit 51 home runs and 128 RBIs in 2005, finished second in MVP voting that year. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know if the one MVP is good enough to make it.
Well, he didn't win the MVP. He finished second in 2005, but the hits under 2,000 don't jump out at me. The RBIs 1,289 don't really jump out at me. The home runs do at 434. That's impressive for him. Hall of very
crazy
good.
He hit that many home runs, but that few of RBIs.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like on that Braves team, wasn't he hitting 2?
I couldn't remember if he was hitting 2 or if Chipper was hitting 2.
I mean, that's another team you could say that because of, I don't want to call it recency bias, but they call them the team of the 90s. And if you really look at it, they only did like one thing in the 90s. They won the World Series in 95.
They were the NL team of the 90s. That's pretty much it.
That's a fair point.
He was also, Andrew Jones played at the tail end of the 90s as well. He didn't really catch on until 1997.
Was he the first overall pick in 96? Is that what, I mean, did he miss that Braves of the 90s kind of thing?
He made his debut in 1996 at the age of 19. He played 31 games with them, but he finished the following year. He qualified for Rookie of the Year in 1997. He finished 5th in Rookie of the Year voting.
Okay.
Another name to throw out there that goes in the A-Rod category, Manny Ramirez.
Yes,
no.
He's in. Yes, he's in.
I had him on my list.
I love Manny Ramirez. 2004 to 2007, Manny Ramirez might be my favorite baseball player of all time. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
He's definitely a Hall of Famer.
I mean, you just said the 500 home runs. He had 555.
Number-wise, he is, though.
555 home runs, 2,574 hits, 1,831. Those numbers, on every one that we've talked about so far, it sits third. Behind Alex Rodriguez and Adrian Beltre. He's a Hall of Famer.
I mean,
there is some stigmatism with his name. Yeah, because he went off the deep end once he got busted for peds, and then it became the Manny show.
He had 40 home runs in 5+ seasons. He had 12 All-Star game appearances, and he had 9 Silver Slugger awards.
Yeah, I have him on my list.
He's in.
Sean, I think you're the only one that didn't say the list. Who you got?
I actually only voted for 2. This year, I would only vote for Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez. I could be swayed for Adrian Beltre. I don't think anybody else gets in. I think it's... When I went down that list, it is Hall of Very Good. It is not Hall of Fame for me. I think the Hall of Fame is oversaturated.
So I do have a question. In an area of the Hall of Fame where it's not oversaturated, what about somebody like a Billy Wagner? You essentially have 3 closers in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Bruce Sutter, Goose Gossage, Lee Smith.
Mariano Rivera.
Oh, yeah.
Rivera's in.
He was one of the...
He was unanimous,
he was
right?
First ballot. Yeah.
So
again, my time is so warped because of...
Fun fact, he is the only Hall of Famer in the Hall of Fame that has never scored a run in his career. I saw that the other day. I was like, that's pretty crazy. No other pitcher has been able to do that. He's the only pitcher that has never scored a run in his entire career.
Even somebody like Gossage?
You know what?
Apparently.
Interesting.
I think you could make a serious case for Billy Wagner. I think you actually could. A career 2.31 ERA, 853 games, 422 saves, just over 900 innings pitched.
Did Hoffman get voted in? Because if Hoffman's in, Wagner's in.
I don't know. Again, my time is so warped right now. Like, I completely forgot that Rivera is in, and he is in.
Yeah, so I think in that situation, if Trevor Hoffman is in, then Billy Wagner should be a Hall of Famer as well. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, probably should be.
Trevor Hoffman was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2018.
So then Billy Wagner should be a Hall of Famer as well. They're the same person, in my opinion.
Who is the other closer on that list?
So, really quickly though, Trevor Hoffman has 200 more saves than Wagner. He has he has a 2.87 ERA, so not as good as Wagner, but he has 20 more wins, and he pitched over almost 200 more innings than Wagner.
Be honest about the wins though for a closer, because that means
but I'm just saying like
runs.
And wins is a flawed stat anyway, but my point is that his numbers are better.
Hoffman was a starter at one point. Like, I believe he started as a starter and transitioned to the bullpen.
So
and I think Hoffman had a longer career.
Hoffman never started a single game in his career.
Really?
No. So in 1993 to 2010, he was a reliever. He never made a single start in major leagues. 0 GS.
Interesting.
That's neat.
Well,
good thing we all don't have
now. And see now that I compare those two, now I'm leaning not to put Wagner in because Hoffman's numbers are significantly better.
How many games did Billy Wagner play in? I feel like
Billy Wagner played in 908 games, right around there. Trevor Hoffman was 1,035.
So maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe number-wise they probably aren't. It just feel like when you think back to those two, those were two of the top closers. Those three, Rivera, Hoffman, and Wagner, were the three guys that when they came in the ninth inning, it was over.
Yeah.
For a long stretch of time. And even then, like the other name on this list is Francisco Rodriguez. I mean, he does not have the numbers by any means, but he was another one of those guys that was lights out during that time. Eric Gagne was lights out for a decent stretch for a while. And that same Gagne would have been later on in that stretch, but again, it's gonna be hard for closers because of what they do.
I was gonna say this is ultimately my problem too with putting somebody like Wagner. I hesitate to say Hoffman, but these closers in because they burn out so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of the great closers we've had on the Cardinals and how many of them burned out real quick. Jason Mott, 2 years. Trevor Rosenthal, 2 years. And you could name half a dozen guys on every team in the last decade who have been lights-out closers and probably sell cars now.
Yeah, but those teams also have the same issue that they come off of having a Jason Isringhausen that was their closer for years, and then they're trying to replace that with the next best thing. Closer is not an easy position to play. Like, you have to be a mental case to be able to do that.
Isn't that more of a case for like a Wagner or Hoffman though, because the longevity and they did it for so long and they had 40 plus saves in like 8 seasons?
Yeah, I would say it's a case for him for sure.
It's also part of the whole Hall of Fame thing, is it's subjective. Just because you're voting for him doesn't mean that you think that everyone's going to vote for him. I mean, there's people who vote random people all the time, just for the sake of voting them. That's how people end up with 1% of the vote, 2% of the vote. I mean, it's just your personal experience.
And that's why Keith Law shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Kenny touched on it earlier. There are guys out there who won't vote for players until they've had 4 to 5 years sitting on the ballot. Like, I do personally think that to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer, that's like an honor you should give to like the elite of the elite. That's just me. But if there's no better names on that list, then yeah, of course, vote the best name. A lot of guys don't do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all being from St. Louis, do we all agree that Albert Pujols will be a first-time Hall of Famer?
He is. So he will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. What's his percentage, though?
Honestly, if he's not unanimous, I will drive to whoever's house that didn't vote for him, and I will stab them.
I think there's a chance that he's a sub 99. He's like 98.9. I could see that happening.
What about like a Yachty? Do you think Yachty gets in?
He gets
No,
in. He's
there's
not
so
first
much discourse about Yachty. A lot of people think that Yachty won't even be a Hall of Famer. There's people outside of St. Louis that legitimately will not vote for him for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, which is absolutely the dumbest thing anybody.
It just seems crazy to think that you would think that he's not even deserving of a vote.
Well, they're probably doing what we're doing right now is we're looking at just stats at face value, and he doesn't have the offensive stats that you would really want for a Hall of Famer. But we know, being from St. Louis, how much he does outside of that he is more than deserving of it.
So I would say that there are examples of that. Ozzie Smith didn't always have the best offensive numbers. Obviously, he is the greatest defensive infielder in the history of baseball. Was recognized solely in the Hall of Fame for that.
Right.
I think, and again, I say this considering A-Rod and Bonds. If you vote because you're a Cincinnati Reds writer and you don't like Yadier Molina, or you are a Boston writer and you don't like Alex Rodriguez, whatever it is, you should be stripped of this honor.
Yes. Correct.
Because you should be writing as a baseball writer, not as a Cincinnati Reds writer. Correct. It's the Baseball Writers of America vote. So,
but if there's anybody in this country who loves the smell of their own farts more, it's the Baseball Writers of America.
That's so true.
Yeah. I can't argue that one. I mean,
I just envision the meeting at the Baseball Writers of America being like that episode of South Park where they're all like, "Good for you," put their head in it. Yeah,
they playing sarcastic ball.
Yeah.
One last thing I'll say about this current crop of players for the Hall of Fame: the fact that Brandon Phillips made this list is a crime.
And James Shields. Let's put James Shields in that category too.
His numbers are nowhere near Hall of Fame worthy, and the fact that we just wasted a nomination on him, ridiculous. We could have put any other name up there.
I'm curious now how they get nominated, because it can't be just based off of who retires and 5 years later. Like, there has to be somebody has to nominate him. Like the NFL, I'm pretty sure the way that it goes is that they go through the list of, like, the Hall of Fame committee goes through the list of retired players, and somebody has to nominate you to be a Hall of Famer. Like, I remember listening and hearing, like, the Isaac Bruce argument. The Torrey Holt argument is fantastic. Like, somebody has to nominate Torrey Holt to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if that's how
goddamn crock.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what gets done for MLB, because some of these names that pop up, like I said, James Shields was the one for me. I'm like, he's going on this list? There's no way.
When you sent over the list of the players and I saw Brandon Phillips' name pop up, I thought it was a fake list. I thought you just made it up.
One of these names is fake.
All right. Anything else you guys have to say about the Hall of Fame before we move on to the actual real meat of the show? I guess best way of putting it.
Well done.
Thanks.
Hope I'm good.
All right. Thanksgiving Day draft. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spin the great wheel for the draft order, and then we are going to draft the best Thanksgiving sides. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, that does include Thanksgiving Day desserts. So,
are we only doing sides? Did we agree to this?
Yeah. Did you not read the text message that we had? Yeah. No turkey, no ham.
Somebody was actually busy today.
Who works this day?
Well, I took yesterday off and went golfing, so I had to work today.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah. All right. So let's spin the wheel. Adam, who gets the first overall pick? And the fact that he's spinning it off camera, I'm not a fan of, but that's fine.
I got it wrote down. It's yellow. Cameron was yellow.
All right.
Ready? Blue, me. I'm number 2.
Collusion.
Yeah, you are number 2 at something.
Green, Kenny, which means that Sean, you're number 4.
This is
We're doing
bullshit.
the snake, right? You get 2 in a row. You're going to have the real meat and potatoes there.
No, I don't think we're doing snake.
We're not doing snake.
Oh, we're
This is
not?
straight up.
Oh,
No,
Sean's screwed. Sean's screwed.
No. So first round will be Cam, Adam, Kenny, Sean. The next round should be Adam, Kenny, Sean, Cam.
Oh, I like it that way.
Kenny,
Kenny's way
Sean,
wins.
Cam, Adam, and then Sean, Cam, Adam, Kenny.
All right, Kenny, you're responsible for keeping track of that because I was already confused by the second round.
And write this all down. You're our note taker.
I mean, I'm writing it down, but I feel like it got real complicated there.
No, this is how we do golf draft with my brother. It actually is very simple once you get it.
All right, so again, the rules. Are we picking, 4 each, right? 3 each. What did we decide?
I thought we were doing 4.
4 it is. 4
Four it is.
well for Kenny's Kenny's strategy.
4 gives everybody a first overall.
Okay, so 4. So was that 16 rounds? So 4 picks each.
No.
It's only Thanksgiving sides. It is not ham, not turkey, and yes, desserts are included in the sides.
Yeah, you start with ham, turkey, and gravy, correct? We decided on gravy?
Yeah. Gravy goes with the turkey. What monster eats gravy by itself?
Boy, I'm just saying, if someone takes mashed potatoes and gravy, I mean, you got to make sure you're keeping it fair here.
No, mashed potatoes would be one, but Cameron, you're up, man.
Yeah, the first overall pick, going for a real heavy hitter here. I'm going sweet potato casserole.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Now, for controversy's sake, do you guys like it with marshmallows or without?
Absolutely no marshmallows.
You're crazy. It has to have marshmallows.
You see, if you put either in front of me, I don't think I'm going to turn it away. I'm going to eat it regardless.
Well, that's true.
I'm absolutely turning down marshmallows.
That's such a bad
Guys,
take.
I have a horrific incident. My pen just died. Okay, got him write that
Great
down because
radio.
I'll forget it.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Adam, with the second overall pick in the first round.
All right, so I don't know what everybody calls it, but I'm going, it's the potato bake that's got the cheese and the cornflakes on top of it.
Okay, you can't pick
Cheesy
something
potato.
if you don't even know the name of it.
It's
What is
potato
it?
casserole.
Potato casserole. It's not
Okay,
sweet potato.
okay, all right.
Cornflake potato casserole, sorry.
Yeah.
That is an excellent decision.
So is cheesy potato casserole still on the menu or no?
No, I think that comes off.
I think it comes off with it. But I just want to
Okay,
clarify
yes.
before someone calls it.
I think the only potato that is probably left is mashed potatoes.
I'm not going to lie to you. That felt like a little bit of a stretch pick. I think you could have gotten that in a later round.
No, I'm
Just
taking
saying.
it out.
You could have got that in 3 or 4.
I have a process. Don't worry.
All
All right.
I'm going mac and cheese.
Son of a
Oh,
bitch.
yeah.
That should have been the undisputed number 1 overall pick. That is insane that fell to 3.
Hey. Mac and cheese is a debatable Thanksgiving thing. I personally vote for it. There's a lot of discourse that people think mac and cheese is not part of the equation.
Macaroni and cheese should be served with every occasion. Every big
want you
occasion it should be served.
I know
I
that
want
from
you guys
living
to
with
know
you
that,
and all the dishes.
obviously there was a point that I stopped paying attention to our conversation, and I had wrote down ribs and brisket as well because this is my Thanksgiving, and because if we were picking protein, you all can go to hell. So, all right, Sean, finish up round 1.
All right. At the end of round 1 with the 4th overall pick, I am going to go with stuffing/dressing.
That's a great call.
And here's why that's a great call. That is only
Real
a meal
stuffing.
associated with Thanksgiving. So that's why it's such a high pick. You don't
If
get it
was
any other
better,
time.
we would eat it all year round.
Well, yeah, but no. Real stuffing
Great
is a
point.
top-tier
That's a
side.
solid point, Kenny.
You just poked a hole right in my argument right there.
That was the Todd McShay negativity on a draft pick. I love it.
All right, second round. We'll go Adam, Kenny, Sean, Cameron. Adam,
Okay.
first overall pick in the second round.
I'm going with the old-fashioned green bean casserole.
Yuck.
Oh, gross.
No.
I see somebody in Adam's family can't cook.
Hey, my plate is going to look fantastic when I get done. You guys just watch.
All right. I think I'm going to throw a curveball here. But I feel like they really need to be on my team. I'm going peanut butter pie.
All right.
What?
I can get down with that. I mean, that's not something that we do personally at ours, but I could, if that was an option, that'd be in there.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. Is it me? Am I up?
It is you, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take with my second pick the clear and obvious choice for the best dessert for Thanksgiving, and that's pumpkin pie.
Damn it!
That's a solid. That's an offensive lineman right there. That's a good one.
This is the run on desserts. I feel it.
I'm fucked.
When one came off the board, just throw.
I'm gonna get stuck with Kurt Schilling after he retires.
I mean, we're gonna go with a slight deviation here of the pumpkin pie. I'm gonna go with the very rarely used, underutilized pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh, fantastic
Damn
pick.
it!
Have you ever had the pumpkin cheesecake? That
So-
graham cracker crust?
Oh, my God.
Does that mean cheesecake is off the board?
No.
No.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can select a New York style cheesecake if you would like.
If you would want to be inferior, you can do that.
I'm gonna have to dive
right.
deep into mine.
Third round.
Third round, we'll go Kenny, Sean, Cameron, Adam. Ooh, wait. Do I want to? Nope, that was picked. Hold on. I am going to go with a homemade cranberry sauce. Not out of the can.
Oh,
Actual
that's a
homemade
bad
cranberry
I
call.
would wait.
Now this is a serious question. Is cranberry
canned sauce
sauce
is better.
and yams the same thing?
What?
What?
Yams are
What
like
are
sweet
yams?
potatoes. They're
Yams
like
is a
sweet
sweet
potatoes.
potato.
How do you not know that?
I don't know.
I am very mad that I just got made fun of about green bean casserole, and Sean doesn't know the difference between cranberries and yams.
So I put on my list. I put cranberry sauce / yams, and I don't know why I did that.
You would have gotten to that
Let-
pick.
Let me
It's the same but
tell you.
different?
Let me tell you something, Cameron. Because Cameron, I did hear him say he likes the mold better.
I do like them
You boil the cranberries yourself.
Yeah,
You put a little orange juice in with them.
all.
Maybe
Little orange
bourbon.
peel, little orange zest. You've been watching
a little
Chopped, I see.
bourbon. There you go.
I make two different varieties. There's the orange cranberry sauce, and then there's the bourbon cranberry sauce.
Now, bourbon
Bourbon's for the
cranberry I
kids.
haven't seen. I would fuck with that.
It's so good.
All right. Well, now that Rachel
All right,
Ray
Sean.
got her pick out of the way, I'm gonna go with mashed potatoes.
God, third round. What a steal.
Mashed potatoes falling to the third round. That is like early 2000s Patriots drafting right there, guys. That's next level.
You
I'm
set
not
off
gonna
the
lie,
dessert train.
Sean has a strong draft going right now.
I do.
mean,
I'm really liking my team here.
Mashed potatoes can go so many ways. You could get my crazy eccentric uncle who makes them with the skins, and I don't know what it is. It's just so good. And then you could get my grandmother, dearly departed, God rest her soul, made the worst mashed potatoes on the planet. I don't know what she did to these poor things. Oh, they were so bad. There wasn't enough gravy on the planet.
Respectfully.
With all due respect.
Cameron.
I'm going to go a little bit of a homer pick here. My family makes a broccoli cheddar casserole that is chef's kiss. With the cheese whiz,
Good one.
the broccoli, the Ritz crackers. I mean, it's not Thanksgiving if I don't get
That
my mom
sounds
making
so
broccoli
North
cheddar
County.
casserole.
That does.
You had to have one.
That dish is so North County. It comes with a carport and a Bud Light.
Like casseroles themselves are a very white person meal, I feel like. That's the most whitest meal I've ever heard.
Look, Sean, you're actually in town for once coming up soon. I'll make some for you. I'll drop it off.
You know what? You know what? I would actually love that. I would love to try whatever this monstrosity is. Who's up next?
All right, Adam.
All right, so I had to go deep into the coffers for dessert because I had to get this out of the way. We have kind of similar to Cameron. We have a family thing. Started with my grandma. We call them pumpkin bars. It's basically a very soft, moist cake. And yes, I said moist. It's pumpkin flavored, and it's got a nice layer of icing over the top of it. You can't beat it.
I feel like there's still some really good dessert ones left out there, guys.
Did we have to
The
take
unfortunate
two
thing is we all
desserts?
took a dessert off the table. So
No, you can take as many desserts as you want. You can take 0. You can
Okay.
take all
two
4.
desserts? All right.
Okay, I think we're entering the final round.
All right, Sean's first overall this time.
All right, I don't know how this one fell this far, but I'm going to go ahead and take cornbread off of the list.
Now, cornbread or corn casserole?
Cornbread.
Cornbread. There's a total difference.
Interesting. I've never had cornbread on Thanksgiving. I'm not opposed.
Neither have I. Yeah,
Really?
we just
Oh,
do,
guys, you're missing out. Come on.
we do Hawaiian rolls.
Hawaiian rolls are great. Not gonna lie there.
All right, Cam, are you going to take those Hawaiian rolls?
I am not. I'm gonna go a little off the cuff here. We're gonna go with the nightcap old fashioned.
Interesting.
Are you not finishing your night after a big meal, just having an old fashioned sitting at your house, just relaxing
No, I'm
by
probably
the fire?
I'm calling black coffee.
I don't even
Black
know if
coffee
I'm.
after dinner.
I don't even know if I'm awake at that point. I'm probably at the halftime of whatever football game is on, asleep on the couch.
All right, Adam, you are up. Your final pick.
Garlic Parmesan roasted carrots.
Jesus, I got to write all this down.
I know. Come on.
Garlic
GP
parm
carrots. Got it.
characters.
Garlic parm carrots.
All
My
right.
plate looks beautiful, by the way. Just so
All
you guys
right.
know, if you had a
Who's
picture of
the,
my plate, it would win.
Who's Mr. Irrelevant for the Thanksgiving sides draft?
Far from irrelevant. I was going to take chocolate silk pie. Or a chocolate pie. However, I have to take Arkansas green beans.
What the hell is that?
It is green beans, bacon, and soy sauce and brown sugar. It is everything green bean casserole tries to be, but better. They are a fantastic dish. You can cook them in a casserole if you see fit, or you can do them in a crock pot like I do, and it is great. And that is how I round out.
What was it? Arkansas what?
Arkansas green beans.
Green beans. Okay.
Yes.
Kenny,
Look
I'm
'em
just
up.
offended you do anything Arkansas.
Well, I just figured because they're fat and toothless down there that they would make green beans that are the most unhealthy things on the planet. So, yes.
Yeah, but that would peg them for mashed potatoes.
Mhm.
All right, let's
right.
let's recap this draft here. So Cameron walks away with sweet potatoes, pumpkin cheesecake, broccoli
literally
cheddar
walked
casserole,
away.
and an old fashioned, which is still the strangest pick of this draft. Adam, you get the cornflake potato casserole, green bean casserole, pumpkin bars, and garlic parm roast carrots. You're really doubling down on that casserole. Kenny, mac and cheese, peanut butter pie, cranberry sauce, and Arkansas green beans, and I get stuffing / dressing, pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, and cornbread. One of us went very traditional. Everyone else said, "Fuck it, I'm going off the rails."
You took the Patriots draft. It was a very well done draft. It
All right.
might win you a Super Bowl in 6 years.
Hey, we'll see. We're gonna put it out on the socials and have everybody vote on which one is the best. So, speaking of the socials, Cameron, where can everybody find us?
Yeah, you could find us on Twitter at Pod Ride the Pine. You could find us. Let me pull this back up. It's been a minute since we've had to do these shout outs here. You could find us on Twitter at pod_ride the pine. On Instagram, my bad. Pod Ride the Pine on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok at RTP-Kenny. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube at Ride the Pine Pod. We're available pretty much everywhere. Listen where you can. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Let's have some fun.
You can find me at Jason Kelsey on Twitter.
You can find him in the next issue of People's Magazine.
A runner-up. I mean, that's got to be disappointing. How are you coping with that?
I'm absolutely okay with it.
That sounds like a man who's not absolutely okay with it. But all right, guys, let's get out of here. Yeah, have a good night. See ya.
Bye.